Today, okay. Try that again. Okay, today is September 11, 2017 for a regular council meeting for the Village of Stryker. Today leading us in prayer is Mr. Ingram, pastor of the First Baptist Church. Sir?
All right, let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this great land that you've given us, for the freedoms that we enjoy, for those who have sacrificed to protect it. We thank you for the due process of law and for the privilege that it is to be fairly represented, to be able to speak our minds and know that we are heard. We thank you for these people, men and women who have committed to serve this community and to seek its betterment. We ask that as they deliberate tonight, that their discussion would be characterized by peace and harmony, that you would give them wisdom as they make decisions, and that they would make those decisions not just because they are right, but also because they are good. We're thankful for the peace that we enjoy in this community, and we think about those in our land, particularly in the Gulf states right now, especially in Florida, where they are not enjoying that. We ask for your provision and your protection over them. We're also reminded of what happened on this day 16 years ago, and we pray that you would keep that from ever happening here again. We ask your watch care over this meeting, that you would guide and direct it according to your will, and we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
And tonight leading us in the pledge, Mr. Roger Wheeland, an Army veteran. Sir?
Take your name in order to lead the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Roll call, please.
Armstrong?
Yes.
Overland?
Yes.
Levin?
Yes.
Sterling?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Tompkins? Yes.
Need a motion for the regular minutes, previous minutes from 8/14/2017.
I'd like to entertain a motion that we accept the previous minutes as presented for regular meeting of 8/14/2017.
Second.
Second.
And roll call.
Overland?
Yes.
Levin?
Yes.
Sterling?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Tompkins? Yes. Armstrong?
Finance reports from 9/8/2017. Before we do the motion, is there any questions or comments for Beth or for Beth after reviewing those? Beth, do you have anything that you'd like to add for that?
I kind of tried to summarize on my clerk report that I put in your spot, the top of it, of how we did for the month. Revenue was $94,573 since last month. Expenses were $67,017, so we were $27,556 to the good every month. And our taxes are up 6%. And if you have any other questions, I'll wait on the rest until we do the actual ordinances and resolutions.
That's for any questions for Beth? Okay, can we get a motion?
Make a motion to accept finance report 9/08/2017.
For a second?
I'll second it.
And roll call.
Levens?
Yes.
Sterling?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes.
Tompkins? Yes. Armstrong?
Yes.
Overland?
Yes.
Leads us into communications. You will see A, B, and C there. There is a thank you note from Rachel Lang, which is the Northwest Employment Service Manager for Quadco. That letter is up here for you to read if you would like. I'll pass that around. But that was for having one of their customers come up here and do some work for us. So there is that from Rachel Lang. The other one is the Senior Center meal. That is the bright orange, Hunter orange for the fall, so you can go through and read that as well. Then the last one is we need to set the trick or treat date for this year, and you can see the 28th is on there. What day do we want to look at doing that? I believe the fire department usually goes the same
I would think that would work. We're not having an officer meeting tonight because it's the fair.
Oh,
I would think that would be perfectly good Friday night. I guess there's always an option to Saturday, we've done in the past.
I believe so.
Saturday would be better.
Saturday the 28th?
Yeah.
Okay.
When was that clocks back?
November.
November.
Normally it's the first week of November now.
Okay. It's projected sunset.
I didn't think it'd be helpful, since
You wanna do like a, I think we usually go an hour and a half, is that right?
Yeah, it's a question, do we start before dark and let it get dark? Do we wait till dark? And that's a question of when is dark.
What, 4:30 to 6?
Yeah. Thinking in terms of safety. That sound reasonable?
4:30 to 6? Good.
Kind of early?
Normally, I mean, normally it's about 5 to 6:30, but.
We'll go 5 to 6:30? Either way.
Okay.
That's fine.
5 to 6:30?
Yeah.
Can we see what we did last year?
For sure it was 5 to 6:30.
I think it ended at 6:30 last year.
Yeah, I think it was 5 to 6:30.
Yeah, time changes Sunday, November 5th, the first Sunday, you're right.
What's wrong with the 31st? What's wrong with the 31st?
We just
It's
turned
Is that
Tuesday.
school night?
Turned off to get them to sleep after the
Yeah,
game.
I know. Most of the time they're doing so.
Okay, we'll go Saturday.
Sure. What sports season are we into?
Football.
Basketball?
Football.
Still football.
Yeah.
So it won't be Friday night games or anything, but Saturday should be good.
Saturday, 5 to 6:30? Okay, trick or treat. Any other communications from council members that you had that we need to, or we can hit under other as well? Okay, that would lead us into citizens. Katie and Patsy are not here, prayer, we do that. Okay. Economic development.
That's just what Patsy, Michelle's here for ARS.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Michelle, the floor is yours.
Oh, goodness, well, thank you. I'm just here tonight to touch base with council and mayor regarding the renewal for refuse collection and services. It's coming up for renewal on October 1st. We certainly appreciate the confidence that you've provided and shown us in servicing the community in the past, and hope to continue that working relationship moving forward for another 3 years. I've met with Beth and Alan regarding the proposal. I think that's in front of them, correct? Or not yet?
Did they forget to copy it?
Okay.
They did that one, the one page, I can tell them,
Yeah,
it was like a 65-cent increase.
but those rates, we held rates for 3 years and we'll hold rates for 3 more moving forward, so. And so wanted to touch base with everybody, let you know that our working relationship with the village staff is outstanding. Kudos to everybody that you have on board here. It's very easy to get a hold of people and get issues resolved. Also want to give you a compliment on your community members. They're very reasonable and they're very kind when they call, and that's not always the case. If there's an issue, we get it resolved quickly, and everybody seems to be very reasonable about understanding that we also have rules to follow, and sometimes, mistakes are made, and so we get those, resolved as quickly as we can. So, always available at any time for anybody in the community that has questions or concerns. We still answer every phone call with a live person, and we still work very closely with our staff and the administrative staffs of all the municipalities that we service to make sure that garbage really is the least of your worries. We want everything to go smoothly. So I thank you for allowing me to speak tonight on behalf of the company, and thank you for the confidence that you've shown in our company.
Thank you for coming in and talking. Council, do any of you have any questions or anything?
There's a couple citizens asking, the recyclable, is that gonna be still every other Friday?
Correct,
Like
services,
this one?
yeah, service schedule would not change
Okay.
under the new agreement.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, if I may, that we have heard outstanding things about your service that you provide to the village and how easy it is to communicate from a administrative level compared to perhaps some other service providers in the past. And less complications on billing issues and just a whole variety of things. Nothing but good, good positive statements made about your firm and how you conduct your business, so we appreciate that.
Thank you. I'll pass it along.
All right, appreciate you coming in and giving them a chance to listen to you, and this also field some questions there, so we truly appreciate that. That leads us into the committee reports. We have a committee report of the Finance Committee with dated 8/28/2017, and that is Mr. Robert Sperling as the head of that group.
Yes, this looks like the Reader's Digest version, so. Okay, I was here, Lon was here, Mick was here, let's see, members present, others present, Beth was here, Joey was here, Rex, Police Chief Steve was here. We discussed possible change order for the Village Hall restroom renovation project, and we advised Beth to invite the engineer from Pogmeyer to the council meeting to explain the need for a change order, as this is basically a very ridiculous amount. And I guess I'm scanning the crowd.
We can talk about it later, we got it taken care of, pretty much.
Excellent. Great, glad to hear that. So it's not nearly as ridiculous as it appeared to start with.
No.
Great when reasonable people can sort these things.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Other items discussed were 2015-2016 audit costs, 2018 proposed budget. Fiscal Officer Rediger went over estimated revenue for 2018. The committee proceeded to discuss 2018 wages, capital purchase for a new street truck, and projects as related grants obtained for 2018. After discussion, the committee recommended the Fiscal Officer Beth Rediger prepare a new payroll ordinance making the full-time police officers hourly, not salary positions, as there was an issue with them covering holidays. With no further business, committee adjourned, submitted by me. Yes, thank you.
Any questions on the Finance Committee minutes? Okay. Leads us into old business, Striker Fest. Give it to the two on the end, since you're both from the fire department, and was up there quite a bit.
It went well. It says report of success. I say it was successful. What's your thoughts, Russ?
Yeah, really good.
People came, they had fun. We came out in a positive way. Our way of looking at Summerfest these days is even if it winds up costing us, if everybody came and had fun, we threw a party for the community with the help of the community, and if everyone had a good time, it was well worth it. And we did come out ahead, so that was a positive.
The schedule seemed to work well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The time schedule worked pretty well.
It worked out well. The food situation, we tried something different this year, the department did, and we will make adjustments for next year. The way we handled the food and served it went much, much better. We tried something new with the kids' meal with the chicken legs. That was very successful. And then we found out that while we may be really fond of the concept of a pork chop on a stick, apparently not everybody is, and we had a lot of pork chops on sticks. So we won't be doing that next year in the same way that we experimented this year. But all in all, everything went quite well. So, how did the chili go? There seemed to be,
Nice, steady flow of people coming through.
okay. So you were happy with the way that went for a first year then?
Yes,
Okay, great.
lots of good chili.
Yeah.
The 5 or 6 judges, I don't remember what it was, I think 6. And they're
It's always a
We're cut out for it.
difficult position to be in as a judge for pretty much anything.
and they had no clue who had what. They were trying to guess whose chili was whose.
Yeah.
They didn't know. It was good.
I don't know whoever had the hot chili, the Summer Rex will go out of hot too.
So that worked out.
They're all like
Good
sweating when they
business
come over.
It's a little partnership thing.
Yeah, it was, it was nice.
Okay. Well, and then summer rec, how did the evening,
Yeah, we-
hot dogs and burgers? and
We
stuff?
ended up making $400, so that was really good.
That was good.
Yeah, got rid of some extra clothes that we had left over from teams,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
okay, glad to hear that. So all in all, it sounds like everybody that participated then.
Yep.
The car show, we were tied up with the food. I myself never made it to the car show, but I understand there was some neat stuff.
The car show was nice. I think the comment, I was one of the judges on that. I think one of the comments I made to several cars was, that looks like a speeding ticket if I owned it. There were some very nice cars.
I want to put a big thank you out there for the Heritage Council for doing a pretty lineup.
Yeah, they did a nice
Did a really
job.
good job.
It was a good parade all the way around.
So. Okay, anything more? Go ahead.
Yes, we have to make sure that we thank the village as well as the community. We landed Life Flight, and my understanding is the street sweeper going down there and cleaning the street, and we still didn't necessarily account for the rotor wash coming off the roof of the bus barn, and we had stuff flying in your place, but no harm, no foul.
I know, got out, he was a little,
Yeah, and his co-pilot said, I saw all the barricades and the cones flying the wrong way, so he said, I didn't say anything to him. But, yeah, it was, that added some excitement to landing the Life Flight. So, no harm, no foul, they were successful. Unfortunately, they left before we were able to get a chicken dinner in their hands. It was really, I'm not sure. I never did ask and find out if they left because they had a call.
yeah, they had a call.
Okay, because they weren't there as long as they intended to be, and we were planning to feed them as a thank you, and that didn't happen, so we owe them that chicken dinner.
It's always nice to see them come in and for a non-emergency.
Yes, yes.
You always hate to hear it flying over, but it's nice that they're able to come and do some of
There
this
for
stuff.
about, 5-6 years, they didn't do that because of the budget, but now it's okay now, so. It's all good.
And of course, local law enforcement helped us out, so we appreciate that too. Their presence was duly noted in their beverage area and whatnot.
Good. Okay, that leads us into the next old business of land bank, and we are going to turn this over to.
I had spoken with Vicki Graham a couple weeks ago, but, she said, be patient, still going forward on the 2 properties I had told you, earlier, the ABC, I call it the ABC Consulting House, and,
White brick.
and,
One on the corner.
yeah, you remember that better than me, but, they're going forward, on, foreclosing and what they need to do to have control of them for the land bank, so, on those 2 properties.
So that's a good thing, moving forward there. Like I stated before, there was another one on our list that we were looking at. That one is, I think, being lived in, down by the trailer park, Yellow House.
Yeah, they're redoing.
There,
I've talked to the owner several times.
that's
Great
coming
guy.
along,
And
coming
they're in
along
there?
nicely.
Yeah.
I think that was one that we struggled with for 20+
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
Reminds me of the Walton style house. So that's a plus as well.
Yeah.
Any further questions for Beth on land bank? Yes, it's in the process, just a little, going through the hoops to get that.
In the same spirit of the land bank issue started on looking at some of the properties that maybe needed incentive to clean up and whatnot. How's things coming up that way?
It's still in the process, it is cleaning, but there is some work being done behind the scenes on our side.
Okay, so progress isn't where we had hoped, but progress is slow and steady.
There was progress made, however, not quite enough.
Okay.
So that is still being addressed as well.
Okay.
Making sure we have everything dotted and crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on land banks? That turns into legislation. Looking to suspend and pass resolution 08, TAC 2017, TAC 7.
But this stuff's gonna take a while. I'll entertain a motion to declare an emergency and suspend the rules for resolution 08-2017-7.
Second. Roll call.
Sperling,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Overland,
Yes.
Levens.
Yes.
Is there a motion to pass resolution 08 Tech 2017 Tech 7?
Make a motion to pass resolution 8, 2017-7.
I'll second.
And roll call.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Overland,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Sperling.
Yes.
Beth, would you want to talk about this next one, or do you want me to just go right into it,
I can explain it a little bit.
since it was brought up a
Yeah.
little bit earlier?
This was,
Got much less expensive.
our change order for our restroom grant. This has been a very long, drag out process. We originally did not have in the bid books, state permits put in for doing alterations to the restroom, and the contractor, Mr. Siebenauer, felt we needed permits. And so we went back and forth with Pogemeyer, the engineer, and long story short, they applied, and somehow or another the wrong drawings got submitted, and it had us having a lot more than what we needed, so there was going to be a change order of $8,900, and, which was ridiculous because our grant was only for $11,000 and the total project was $22,000. So that was, unacceptable, and, I went back to the engineers and told them basically that that was unacceptable. And now it's reduced to, found out it was the wrong drawings, and we only need 2 exit signs over our doors, so it's $95.
Okay.
But anytime there's a change with the block grant, we have to pass a change order. And then the commissioners will have to sign off on it also for the $95. So
But
this resolution is basically saying, we agree we're adding 2 exit signs.
however, I'm assuming these are code requirements.
Yes.
So who did put them on the prints?
Probably the engineers, I would
Why are they
guess.
paying for it?
There was, I don't know, I guess I thought $95. I was tired of, I just want the restroom done. It has to be done by the end of the year. You know,
Oh, okay, it's gotta be done by the end of the year.
yes, to get our, yes, we need our 11,000 in and out by the end of the year.
So the email that was sent was an $8,800 email in
Mhm.
savings.
Yes, except they screwed it up in the first place, so
Correct.
it wasn't $8,800 we owed anybody, they messed up.
Correct.
So right now, they still messed up to the tune of 95, which is a heck of a lot better than 8,800.
Mhm. Yeah, there was some discussion of not happy with this and how will our engineering go in the future? Who will we use
I
for
suspect given
projects?
an option, it probably won't be Pogemeyer.
I don't have a vote, but
We're not afraid to look at other opportunities.
Excellent choice of
Companies.
words. Okay, well, I guess I certainly wouldn't want to jeopardize the grant for $95, but I do feel that we have some, yeah, we have, they owe us $95 in that, right?
Any other questions for Beth on that? Looking to suspend and pass this one as well, resolution 09, TAC 2017, TAC 8. Is there a motion to declare an emergency?
I motion to suspend 09-2017-8.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Overland,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes.
Frisbee.
Yes.
Take a motion to pass resolution 09, TAC 2017, TAC 08.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 09-2017-8.
Second.
I'll second.
And roll call.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Overland,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes.
Just pick and choose.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Keep it so late.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Leads us
Yes,
in,
I messed that one
they didn't notice at all.
up. No.
Looking for a second reading for ordinance 2017, tax 04, an ordinance regulating the use and licensing of golf carts in the village of Stryker. Is there a motion?
Make a motion, the second reading of the ordinance 2017-4.
Second.
I'll second
And roll call.
Overland,
that. Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Spurling,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong.
Yes.
Suspend and pass ordinance 2017, tax 05. This is an ordinance approving the addition and inclusion of certain ordinances as part of the various component codes of the codified ordinance of Stryker.
I'll make a motion to suspend ordinance 2017-5.
Second?
Second.
Okay. And roll call.
I just want to say before we do roll call, I did take your books out and they have been updated and put back in. And it has, supposed to be updated on the website also.
I thank you, appreciate that.
Um,
Got one.
You got one? So I got one for you.
You got one?
Yeah.
Set up in the camera. Yeah.
Roll call.
This one, that's secret copy.
Levens,
Yes.
Spurling,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Overland.
Yes.
Looking to pass ordinance 2017, tax 05. Is there a motion?
I make motion to pass ordinance 2017-5.
And a second.
I'll second it.
And roll call.
Spurling,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong, Overland,
Yes.
Levens.
Yes.
Looking to suspend and pass ordinance 2017, tax 06. Ordinance repealing ordinance 2016, tax 08, setting the salaries and fringe benefits and defining certain duties of elected, appointed, and hourly employees of the village of Stryker.
I would just be tickled pink to suspend the rules and declare an emergency for a wage ordinance for our employees. So that would be for ordinance 2017-06.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Overland,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Spurling,
Yes.
Looking to pass ordinance 2017, tax 06. Motion?
Moved.
And a second? And roll call.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong, Overland,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Spurling,
Yes.
Frisbee.
Yes.
And the last but not least, suspend and pass ordinance 2017, tax 07. Is there a motion for that?
Make a motion to suspend ordinance 2017-7.
I'll second that motion.
And roll call.
Armstrong, Overland,
Yes.
Levens,
Yes.
Spurling,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Looking to pass ordinance 2017, tax 07. Is there a motion?
I'll move to pass ordinance 2017-7.
Leach? And a second?
Second.
Which one won?
Ladies, don't fight over it.
Ladies
I'll
first?
second.
And roll call.
Levens,
Yes.
Spurlock,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong.
Yes.
That leads us into the administrator report. It is all yours.
As most of you have known, the paving project on ODOT Route 2 through the village is pretty much completed, except for, they're gonna do some concrete work on the manholes and the handicap sidewalks. In addition to that, the village will be installing stop sign bump outs at the corner of Lynn and Defiance Street. The street department will be installing a children caution sign for children at play out at the corner of Maple and Cherry Street. I discussed this with Steve and we decided where to put it, and there's been some traffic issues out there with children playing, so. This Wednesday, Beth and I will be attending, or meeting with Ohio Bureau of Workman's Comp to discuss some available grants and see what kind of savings there are to the village out there. And that's pretty much all I have. Any questions?
So right now, we know that we're winding down on our north and south roads. Next year, do you want to talk about that a little bit? At least just give a refresher.
2018, 191 from Route 2 out of the village limits. I'm not sure if they'll go to West Unity or how far they will go, but that will be resurfaced also. ODOT is on a 10-year program on repaving. So after next year, we should be looking pretty good.
Any questions for Administrator Allen?
Is the current stop sign location roughly where it will be with the bump out?
Yes, it'll just be approximately 14 feet out
Okay.
into the street. As you can see, we put a temporary there.
Yes, it's very noticeable. I hope it's doing its job. This guy.
I think it has. I haven't had anybody running southbound.
Yeah.
A lot
So that was the northbound issues?
Uh,
Okay, so a bump out will be on the north.
opposite corner, yes.
Okay. Oh, hopefully that will solve our
I
problem.
hope so.
May not solve it, but it should greatly reduce it. That's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Seeing that sign right there, it's hard to miss.
We may, in fact, start writing some citations for that. I know, I know. Well, let me say, the other guys. The other guys.
Not just kidding. Not just kidding.
So hopefully that does help.
Yeah, I think that'll reduce it a lot. I do too.
It may not be the solve all, fix all, but definitely.
That
anything
would be
we can do to
perfect,
help.
but if we can do everything we can, yeah.
I
Keep it to a
think
minimum.
it's, moving them closer to the center of the road is definitely gonna, I think will help tremendously. It's got to, I mean, it's helped with southbound traffic, there's no doubt about that, no doubt.
Because I assume the majority of the people that run it aren't from here and say,
Right,
I
just
didn't
don't
see
see
it.
it.
I didn't- You know, it's a state route, I wouldn't expect them to stop and, you know what I mean? So I'm sure that, yeah, that's gonna be.
And there's some legitimate
Oh,
stuff to
sure,
that.
most definitely. Yep.
You're not looking for it.
Right.
Go ahead, you
You
have
have
one
one
more
more
thing?
thing. Last week, I delivered some, actually, we're working with OWPC, which is a grant for water line underneath the railroad. So one that's been out of service for a number of years, we're gonna try to get some money. And so I met with the county engineer, and on the 17th, I believe, they'll have a decision.
Currently, we have how many water lines that run underneath?
3
And one of them is,
out of service, so we have 2 in current service. If we get another one, then it's gonna get,
we're gonna have to do
Real scary.
something real quick.
Yeah. Just regular capacity, let alone fire service capacity. That,
Right.
you know.
And that's definitely something that we need to get taken care of. As of right now, we're fine with the 2, but we don't want to go
There's
below that.
no redundancy at all.
So what we're trying to do is get some money there to help with that. And I would think that would rate fairly high under scorecards. I have no idea what's under scorecard, but you would think that would score pretty high.
We did get an email today, and we did rank fairly high, so.
Ranked like 87 out of 95 points.
Oh,
Wow, really?
So there was two that ranked 88 in our category, but I think we got a good shot. We're trying for, roughly the project would be 115,000, and, I think we would be responsible for 58. So, I mean, it's not a huge grant, but it's a help with that.
It's nearly 50%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and Alan's gonna go to the meeting that's on the 19th at the courthouse, where you get to kind of plead your case of why we need it over the other ones. So,
Is there strength in numbers? Like we all show up?
we're hoping Jones and Henry's gonna be there too, but, I'm not really sure, I'm not sure when, the engineers go to bat for you. I don't know what the time or what that is. It's basically at the commissioners meeting.
Yeah.
And you can try to pick up some congressionary points.
Yeah.
So,
who was the engineer on that one?
Jones and Henry.
Any further questions on that? So definitely some good things potential there, at least to be able to help us. I remember when that went bad and we got shut. Anything else for Alan? Okay, village officials, Chief Slusher.
Speaking of other people's money that I intend to spend,
Yes, I see you're consulting.
yeah. Tom Deemer's, he knows some guys in Homeland Security that's pretty good with their grants and everything. Tom's working, since he's technically, well, I wouldn't call him an employee of the village, but he's on contract with the village. He has the authority to do what he needs to do as far as paperwork and things like that with Homeland Security in order for us to get some grant funding for new laptop computers. Now, I mean, if we would get these funds, probably looking at, like some Cadillacs, of computers and some pretty good ones. Probably the Panasonic Toughbooks, the brand new ones, and I believe they're. You guys are still using the those ones that we have, right?
Yes.
From
Yeah. OD.
ODNR.
Yeah.
Those have like 14-inch screens somewhere around there,
Yeah,
13 and a
I'm not
half.
sure what they're-
But these are the bigger ones. They got like 17, 18-inch screens, and I guess they're pretty sweet. Obviously, better operating system, processor speeds, everything up to date. So it all depends if Tom can secure these grants or secure this funding. We're gonna try and hit a home run and go for these big ones. If you can't get them, then we're probably gonna have to settle for what's out there on the commercial market. I really don't want to spend a whole lot on laptop computers, but it's something that I was kind of really interested in as far as having us go completely wireless and go to a laptop rather than having the traditional tower, monitor, keyboard, workstation. Everything that we do with our reporting system is all online. We have everything in the vehicles that we need to be completely wireless. We don't have to depend on a server. While we're here in the office, we haven't removed ourselves from the server, we're still on it, but we don't need it. The only thing that I use the server for anymore is to store common files, paperwork, fax cover letters, letterheads, things of that nature, and the gals just get on the server and we get our files off that. That way I don't have to go around and if we have a change in officer, then I have to change all the files, I have to go around to each and every workstation, we just keep it all on the server. But I was even thinking, with going to a laptop system with like maybe a docking station capability, just be able to take that sucker right out of the docking station, put it in the car, and just to be able to work out of the car after shift, or if you need to come in the office, grab it, bring it back into the office. And that's kind of what I'm thinking on that. Also, probably looking for a new printer copy or fax machine similar to this one here. That would be completely wireless, wouldn't have to work, get into a network, things like that. Again, we haven't had any upgrades, in our computer system, at least since 2005. And I know we've had this printer, when was that? I think.
Before
you
me,
probably
way
don't know.
before me.
I think we got that probably around 2008-ish, somewhere around there. So there's a lot of, it sounds like you probably used some WD-40 in there as far as the way it operates. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I'm surprised it still works.
Yeah, but it has worked great. So those are the big bullets, that I wanted to throw out there. As far as the reports go, see, we had 95 reports since our last meeting. We had 40 traffic warnings, 1 citation, and I think that probably came from an accident. Adult arrests, 1, and juvenile arrests, 1.
And the loose cow got caught.
And the loose cow was caught, and that was Jones.
How embarrassing.
It was a very disciplined cow. Yeah,
Try to jump over the moon.
yeah, we got it right.
He was able to go home.
Offered some apples,
Yeah.
and he was like, oh yeah. I like that.
It's like he's not hunting season. Man, that's a good year.
No antlers on it. Any questions for Chief Selectman?
No.
All right.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Okay.
That leads us into the other. I'll turn this one over to Bob on the end there, since it's already labeled, schedule another finance meeting to discuss next year's budgets. Good meeting, but I don't think we have anything finalized yet.
No, ones are,
So let's look at some calendars, and that is open to any of you to attend if you wish.
okay, so our next regular scheduled council meeting would be Monday the 9th, which is blocked out during the holiday of some
Columbus
sort.
Day.
Columbus Day.
Yep.
Interesting. Very interesting. The reason I say it is celebrated as National Holiday. When I went to school, Columbus was a hero. My kids went to school and came home and said he was the scourge of the America or something like that. So,
Now they're ripping down statues.
yeah. So, okay, well, it's a recognized national holiday, so we're still having a council meeting on Monday.
We should probably go the following week, don't you think?
Work that day.
Go. Yeah,
You guys work that day?
Yeah,
the office is open.
yeah.
Oh, well, what's wrong there?
Okay.
The office is open, we're open.
But then apparently only bankers recognize that as.
Yeah.
it's bankers.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, man.
Maybe
all
we'll
right.
put that in the benefits package for next
I mean,
year.
it sounded good.
Today's Patriots Day. I'd much rather celebrate Patriots Day than Columbus Day.
Yes.
Or Veterans Day.
Yeah.
No veterans get Veterans Day
I
off.
know, that's
Yeah.
Joe?
Not sure what a day off is.
Okay, so our next regularly scheduled council meeting will be October 9th at, I'm guessing 6 p.m. So, we should have a meeting between now and then. So, let's see.
The Monday prior to, what's that look like?
Let's see, I'm gone the 25th.
Okay, so that's not the second.
So the second is, I don't know, second's looking pretty open at this point in time for me. I want to shoot for the second. Is that acceptable to everybody?
Mick and Lana?
Yeah, it's fine for me.
The second is good. Mick, how do you?
Check, stand by. Yep.
Second? What time you wanna go on the second?
Well, you know, that's just a darn good question. Every time we try to schedule it at 7, then other things pop up, so we bump it to 6:30 or 6 or something, so,
Wanna start with 6:30 then?
okay, have a happy medium, 6:30, finance. Now, the next question is, do we have a need for any other committee meetings besides finance?
Service, safety, health, welfare, or judiciary?
Are we judiciating anything?
The only one that we're doing right now is for the third reading for the golf cart
Okay.
ordinance, which is,
No voting issues.
I'm trying to get on records on my spare time. Sooner or later, I'm gonna need a records commission
Yeah.
meeting to get rid of more records, but I'm not at that point yet.
when you get close, let us know, and we can
Okay.
set one of those up.
Where did the land bank, I realize that's being worked on, but which committee handled the land banks?
That was the health.
That was between a couple of them. You could use, I think it was the safety and the health.
Yeah.
Wasn't that both of those?
Yeah.
I mean, is there any need to get that group together to visit anything?
We can if they're interested. Safety is Mick and the health is Lou.
And I mean, it's just, I guess I'm thinking review the little punch list we had and see which ones are still dangling out there that we should consider pursuing
There's one of
or wait till after the first of the year, I don't know. The land bank will need to come through and clean up what they're working on now before we can apply for anything else, right?
Yeah, basically is what she said.
So I guess it's
The
a
ways out there.
question if there's, how soon in advance it's worthwhile to start the process.
Mhm.
But we should wait till after the first of the year to assess then. That might make more sense.
what time go through and get the two cleaned up and then.
Finish what we got on the table.
Yep.
I'm just throw this out there, the finance committee, I mean, you could wait till after the next meeting, I don't have anything pressing to put in because I put it in the appropriations this time.
Oh,
So, I don't know if you'd wanna do it like, you could do it after the council meeting, you could,
Why don't we stay with
or you
prior to, and then if something comes up, we have everything.
then you might not need one in November before the December, before you pass next
Then
year.
we don't have to be rushed.
Oh, yeah, cause you have November holidays.
okay.
I would say keep it, but it's up to you.
Okay.
No,
I'm fine with keeping it if
Yeah.
you've got things to present for us to discuss.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier in October.
Okay.
probably.
Okay.
Save a second.
Yes,
So the
second.
second is 6:30, and it's possible this one will go pretty quick. We hammered some stuff out the last time around, so this one might go.
Yep.
Good.
So I'm gonna jump back up here, Lana, for anything under other.
I have a few things.
Okay.
Okay, I have a couple concerns with Dollar General. One being a safety concern, and that's with those, water retention holes, I'll call them holes, like ditches maybe.
Oh, no, the pools.
The pools, that they have the pipes and the rocks all there, but there's nothing really covered. I'm kind of concerned because if we do get a lot of water in there, I'm afraid maybe some kids might get down in there and it could be a potential hazard as far as, you know, if that's supposed to draw the water in, it could pull a child in, I think. And they're just kind of open there. I don't know, there's a lot of rocks too, so if it's slippery and somebody, if a little kid was to fall, I just think it could be a hazard. I don't know.
We'll check in.
Yes, I will check.
Yeah, there's those two of them there on the south end. I also have a concern about them with all the weeds in the yard. It looks kind of bad when you come into town, just from, I guess from an ordinance standpoint, I think it just needs to be taken care of. Now, I haven't myself talked to them, but I've had a couple neighbors that have actually talked to them, asked them to please mow, and the response they get is that it's a corporate issue. Well, I think you're in Stryker, it's a Stryker issue. I mean, somebody needs to take care of it. I don't think it's been mowed since they came in. It's looking pretty rough down there.
Yeah, I noticed that, Lana. Yeah, it's above the village ordinances there, there's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. I saw it as an issue, they're probably looking for it to probably get the roots probably a little bit more deeply seated before they started cutting it.
Well,
But, you know, I mean, if it's a legitimate complaint, we'll, I think, you know, if we serve, or if I serve paperwork on the manager, it's gotta go somewhere,
right,
so.
right. Yeah, I mean, I know from, because my husband used to be a landscaper years ago, but I know that you can mow that stuff within 3 to 4 weeks. So I know that's not a proper excuse, so to speak. I don't know if that's their excuse or what, but
I spoke
just
with the
think
manager last night.
it does need to be done.
I was in and spoke with her last night, and I gave her some
Okay.
thoughts, and I'll talk with Chief afterwards on some things to help her site as well,
Okay,
because she's running into some roadblocks as well. But
Okay.
it's something I'll talk to you after.
okay. My other concern was, we're talking about the speeding, on the south end, like just past the main stop, there's it ends the 35 mile per hour, but then I know they accelerate from there onward, and now there's a sign for 55 right at the start of DG's limit. It's between our property and
It's at the village limit.
DG's, yeah. I'm concerned because I see people accelerating, coming up that direction, and then we have people stopping and turning, slowing down, turning into DG's. I don't know if there's anything we can do to possibly move that sign further out.
No,
That
No.
one we.
that's all marked by ODOT, we have nothing.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we somehow, I don't know how it happened, but somehow the 50-mile-an-hour speed zone was replaced with a 35-mile-an-hour sign. I don't know how it happened, I swear.
Yeah,
And within probably about 24 hours, I wasn't the chief then, I'll tell you that right now. But within 24 hours, Chris Waterfield was on our telephone and warning the chief of police at the time, they're gonna put a 50-mile-an-hour speed zone back up there, and if they find that it's back to a 35, they're gonna send charges to the village. So,
I just think it's a safety issue too, because you got the kids, most of them are walking on the sidewalk, but, you got the complex down there too.
but that's the thing, everywhere is a speed.
Yeah,
You can't we can't be everywhere,
right,
all the time. We got a complaint on Cherry Street. They wanted, what Al briefed you on. If people think that a slow down, our children that play, or slow down, we love our children, is gonna stop the speeders from going down through there, it's not.
no,
Signs don't do anything but keep honest people honest. So, if we try to do what we can when we can. We can't be everywhere all the time. Unfortunately, that's, it's a 50-mile-an-hour speed zone through there. You can't do anything about it.
I just have one other question, and I'm not being a smart aleck about it, but I don't understand it. I've seen the trend over the months that we don't write tickets hardly ever. To me, common sense seems to me like if we presented more citations, maybe by hitting somebody's pocketbook, maybe we could get them to, do what the law wants them to do. it seems like we
This is
don't
what,
do
this is
that.
what I'll do for you, Lana. I will put together, I will sit down and I will go through every one of those written warnings. And I will, what I'll do is I'll tell you how many times that person has been stopped previously. Okay?
Well, I mean, I'm not,
Because here's the thing, you're not gonna influence somebody by hurting them in their pocketbook.
I think you will.
I don't think so.
I
Because people
personally-
know, people that come through here each and every day see me stopping people in the school zone for doing 31 mile an hour each and every day. Those people that come through each and every day see that, and that influences them.
But if you're the person that's getting influenced, being the person that you're stopped, and you say, I'm not saying that every single stop warrants
Sure.
a citation, but, I mean, there's probably some citation, or some traffic violations, that I think automatically, in my mind, would warrant, a ticket versus a warning. And I think it's kind of a signal to people, hey, if you go there and you do this, they're gonna give you a ticket. They're not gonna say, sorry
And that's
about
what
your
I
luck.
don't want, is for this town to have that reputation like we had before.
See, I don't know what that reputation was, but I'm just saying, from my own personal standpoint, I've had a speeding ticket before. Yeah, I was a little bit on the lead foot here, I'll admit to that. And yeah, it talked to me, that ticket was like over $100. And I was scratching to try to figure out how I'm gonna pay that $100. And yeah, I backed off on my speed because I'm thinking, I don't want another ticket, I can't do that to my family. So I'm just looking for some type of,
But I can.
there's a reason
But
why
I can guarantee you that if I were to pull you over, each and every time you drove through Stryker, you're gonna think about that warning that I gave you.
I don't think I would.
I think you would.
I mean, I would think about it, but it wouldn't convince me not to do it again.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it would.
Okay, so-
I mean, I have a good conscience. I probably wouldn't do it again.
Right?
But I'm saying that, people that, and I don't know if all of these people are repeat offenders, I have no way of knowing that, and it's not my business to know, but
It's all
just
public
from
record.
just from a citizen's standpoint, I just saw that, I thought it was curious that after looking at the trends of our reports every month since I've been on council, that, that is something that we don't do very frequently here, is write a citation, and I just.
Now, I will tell you that I'm not gonna write any citations unless it's an OVI, driving under suspension, or reckless operation.
Is there, can I just ask, is there a reason?
Well, because I'm the chief, ma'am. And
Okay.
it's my discretion whether
Okay.
to write or not
All
to
right.
write. Now, if one of my guys or gals,
Okay,
It's
What-
up to
alright.
the officer.
what's that?
It is officer discretion.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I
Now, if
just-
one of my guys or gals want to write a citation, I will process that baby and send it right down the road like it's nobody's business.
Okay.
Because that's their discretion. I figure me, as the chief of police, if I can stop somebody and maybe just, I'll just say it, chew their ass a little bit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because that's good, that's what, it isn't, we certainly aren't making any money off of it. And what good does it do to hurt somebody in their pocketbook? I don't understand that analogy of knowingly taking money from somebody.
I think from how I would see it, when I think of law enforcement, I think that, yeah, we should be enforcing the law, and this is one way that we can enforce it. And again, I'm not saying that every stop is warranted for a citation. I just thought in my own mind, and maybe not everybody thinks that way, I thought in my own mind that if you hit them where it hurts, because usually money's a driving force for a lot of people, that you would slow somebody down. And yes, the south end of town, we've had quite a few complaints down there. And I don't believe, like you say, that putting up a sign that says we love our children, because obviously it hasn't helped yet. I think we have one of those signs.
We do,
I
right
think-
on the corner of Beach
Yeah,
Street.
right down there. So I agree with you there. I don't think the sign is going to do it. So in my own mind, okay, what are our other choices?
Right.
You
So,
know?
so with that, you talked about being able to go back and look at some of those and see how many times they were.
If that's what you would like me to do, it's probably gonna take about, I'd say a good 5 to 6 hours of my time to go through and check those results.
And with.
But I can absolutely look through every single citation or every written warning that we've ever received and see how many people were repeat offenders, or how many written warnings that we've given to that person in the past.
What if
If
we
that's
look-
what you would like.
What if we look at like 3 months worth of that? Would that take a little less time?
Well, sure it would.
Well, I don't know. You say 5 to 6 hours. 5 to 6 hours, is that for like a month, or is that for like 6 years, or?
Well, I can go back for as long as I've been given written warnings. I mean, when I took over as the chief in 2010, I required my officers to give written warnings. We went away from the report. I required them to give written warnings and put a report within our reporting system. Okay, so I can go all the way back to 2010.
How about we look at the last 3 months?
Okay.
Make it somewhat short. But just do a little snapshot, and then we can look at that to give you a little bit more information, see where that's at, and then we can talk about that later.
There's a lot of people that believe though that speeding ticket is just a fee to drive fast and they don't care. So I mean, you can write a lot of tickets, but people are gonna do it until they can't drive no more.
But that's why we have computers within our vehicles, because each and every traffic stop that we conduct, we open it up, type in their last name, and see if we pulled them over in the past. All the way back to 2010.
Right, but with what you say, Mick, about sometimes people think that's just a price to pay to speed. On the other hand, wouldn't it do the same as far as, don't you collect points for certain offenses?
You do.
Or
That's what I'm saying.
and
They're
then
not
that-
worried until they don't drive. They can't.
Right, so if we just give them a warning versus a ticket, that just gives them a little longer to keep speeding.
It does.
That's the
It
flip
does.
side of the
Yeah,
coin. of
that's
that.
exactly. It does.
So we'll get a little bit of information, we can sit down and look at that as well.
I mean, I'm just looking out, that's one of the concerns that different people have said to me, and on the south end, like I said, I've seen it on Facebook, but I've also had people come to me and say stuff. So I thought I would bring it up, and, that's our whole objective, is to keep everybody safe. Everybody's concerned about their children when it's, in a playground area or around a school or anywhere really. There's enough stuff going on now that they don't want one more thing like safety on that type of thing to worry about, so.
I don't know if ODOT would reconsider making that 35 all the way up to the village limits, or at least adding until Dollar General.
I would get in contact.
I know for a fact you're not gonna get that 55 mile an hour speed zone is gonna be posted right at the village limits. You're not gonna get rid of that, I guarantee it.
Well, the petition for a turn lane.
But with everything coming into town, it's 50 all the way to the Lutheran church.
Yeah,
Keep in mind,
yeah.
that is a 50 mile an hour speed zone. I can't remember any time the last person had their eyeballs calibrated for testing speeds coming into town.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest about it. All right, so, are the complaints legitimate? I don't know,
I
Lana.
mean,
That's just
some-
something that we gotta figure out.
I mean, I just take them all as, people have a concern, so they wouldn't say it if it didn't concern them, so that's why I'm being the voice of some that, have brought it forth, so that's what I'm doing.
And I know Dollar General being there has kind of shed a light.
I think it changes the game down
It
there.
does.
I think maybe they would consider it. going back down to a 35. Starting like at, you know, say at Steve's house, Steve, or like right at the
Yeah,
at the beginning of the parking lot, or the drive, the access into Dollar General. They might,
so,
we won't know until we ask them.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask, definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Offices there, and Dollar General,
Yeah,
got a lot of activity down
yeah.
Okay, Mick,
there. I don't have any.
Bob? Okay.
I
Brooke?
did get a lot of questions about the marijuana plant. Is there anything been by license?
Nothing, nothing new. I did hear, and I don't know if it's actual or not, but there may be a little bit of a delay on hearing the results of who was awarded the licenses. But at this point, I have no timeline. I spoke with an owner of the company that's trying to bring it in, and he had not had any further information either. Okay. I have nothing. I'll start over here with the account. Beth?
Just that I put a copy of the audit report in your packets, that's only for the mayor and you guys, because it hasn't been released by the state yet, but, Alan and I were going to go ahead and sign off on it. That was a pretty good audit. And then in 2 years, we should qualify for agreed upon service, which would be half price. So, that's it.
Chief Slusher?
Nothing.
And then one last thing, when we were talking about audit, Christmas lights, that is all set, ready to go. One thing, just so you guys are aware, I've asked Beth to go through, we are doing this evergreen tree out here, pine tree, and I'm trying to get it set up where we have some people come in, do some carols when we go to light that, maybe have some hot chocolate, we're trying to get some people in, just to spend maybe 30 minutes here and light a tree.
It's a Douglas fir.
The Douglas fir that will be lit up. All right, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Oh.
All right. Camera, please.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all.